Colleagues, teachers, principals, friends, welcome. I will be doing a series of videos that will explain more in detail the direction that we'll be going as a curriculum unit regarding to lesson planning. So the entire teaching and learning process will be explained. We're going to first start with an overview of the grade 3 to 6 curriculum. Now, during this overview, I want to make it very clear that the ideas and concepts that are explained here can apply and should be applied to the K to grade 2 curriculum. Now let's move forward. Now, what are some of the materials that you will need for this entire series? So the series will of course include various videos, and during the entire series I want you, as you watch the videos, that you have these materials nearby. Now of course you can stop the video and go ahead and collect those items. Now let's move on to the core subjects that encompass the national curriculum. Now we're going to first start with language arts. And what should a language arts lesson look like? If you look at the diagram in front of you, you will see that reading text / passage is at the core, and that was intentional. When you're planning your language arts lesson, the reading text and the passage should form the foundation of all of your lessons, and that will be the vehicle that will take and transport the various components of language arts as you teach. So you can see that the components are surrounding the reading and passage. So you utilize the reading, passage, or text to integrate those components of language arts. You can see here a sample grade 5 lesson plan, and you can see how language arts, it takes more of a linear approach to teaching, where one component of language arts is dependent on the other. So of course this is grade 5, so they're doing vocabulary building. So you start off with those words that the students will be introduced to the passage. Within the passage, remember the passage isn't introduced as yet. However, those words of course will be introduced, and then you move on to listening and speaking, and of course grammar and mechanics, and then students of course will be exposed to the actual passage, where you will see they are reading the literature, and if there are any questions, of course they'll go into comprehension, any comprehension skills that they need to grasp, and of course finally creative writing. Now let's look at the other subjects. Science. What does science encompass? For science lessons, we want students to be working like scientists. We want you to utilize the scientific method to teach your students the science concepts and all the topics that encompass science. So I want you to engage students in utilizing the scientific method and utilizing the graphic organizer that is provided to you. Now ensure that you teach students how to utilize the graphic organizer and the scientific method before you actually dive into any experiments. Let's look at social studies. Every social studies lesson should start off with a problem. You're exposing students to a problem within social studies, looking at the concepts that you have to cover and the topics that you have to cover. You expose students to those topics, and you engage students in problem-based and project-based learning, where students examine those problems and find solutions to those problems. Finally, mathematics. Long are the days where students are just using 1 + 1 = 2, or 2003 + 4, 4,328. No, we are looking at mathematics from an authentic approach, where students are exposed to authentic tasks and problems that they may encounter in everyday life. So instead of giving students a line to measure in their books, take them outside. Ask them to measure their arms. Ask them to measure a branch or the parking lot. Measure an area for an area within the parking lot. Expose students to hands-on activities. Allow them to utilize the manipulatives, allow them to utilize the blocks, those sensory tools, and allow them to engage in those hands-on activities as they, of course, apply those mathematical concepts. Now, that of course brings us to the end of this video, and if you have any questions and you need any answers, of course, please contact me via email and I'll answer those questions. Please click part 2 of this video. See you soon.